Today we're going to talk about do-it-yourself diffusion panels. Hi, my name's Larry. This is Photography, the Creative Studio. We're here in Parkwood Studios in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're sponsored by the Photographers Adventure Club. And we're going to talk about these do-it-yourself diffusion panels. I'm a product photographer, primarily. It's one of the main things that I do. And one of the key elements to doing it well, instead of just having great big soft boxes and strip boxes up there, is to have diffusion panels. And there's a very specific reason for that. These diffusion panels allow you to create very nice light gradients on curved surfaces, like beer bottles, wine bottles, you name it, all kinds of things. So why don't we bring this panel in here and take a look at it here. This is one of my smaller ones. This is the front side. This is what I made up. You can buy diffusion panels, and they're quite prevalent out there, but they can cost quite a bit of money to get. You can make your own. This outer frame is made, and we'll turn around in a moment, out of canvas, frames. You can buy them at any art store. They come in various thicknesses and lengths. So I think these are a couple of 36 and a couple of 48-inch ones. They interlock, very easy to glue together and square up. The important piece on it, other than the frame, is this Translum plastic. And I'm going to let you hold that up for me so I can do a couple of things here. By the way, this is Sprague here. I should have introduced him. He's
Hi, everybody.
Vanna White today.
Yes, that's right. If you want to buy a vowel, I'm your gal.
Exactly. You want a P and an A or a C? We got them right here. But these, if I take a big strip light in the studio and put it on a wine bottle, you usually see that right in the bottle. And it's a big blast, and sometimes that puts a big light right through the label, and the product owner, developer, whoever, the wine company isn't going to like that right in the middle of their beer logo or something. So what we want to do is get a nice gradient of light. So if I take a studio light with a strip box, let's say, this one's about 36 long, so I take a 30-inch strip box, and I have, let's say the product is over there. They'll probably Sprague, you're the beer bottle. Yay. You always wanted to be one, right?
Well, I've been told I am one, yes.
We won't go there. But if I put a light over here and have the strip box, and I point it at an angle across here, the inverse square law talks about the light falling off, and I'm not going to get into detail on that law because there's lots of info out there on it. But the light will fall off here, so it'll be very bright here and fall across. What will happen if he's a glass bottle or a shiny ball or an object is that light is going to start real bright on one side and gradient across and create a beautiful gradient. How do we see three-dimensional things in the world of product photography? We see gradients. That is how the world works. If you look at art, any art, that nice gradient is what tells you the shape of something. So the shadows and the light and the play of that. So what we're using here is Translum plastic. It comes from Savage Universal. They make this along with a lot of different kinds of backdrops. And this is a material that is pretty neutral in color, maybe slightly warm. And I've made the mistake of trying to buy something cheaper than this. I think this stuff runs around $60 a roll. I don't remember the length of it, but you can check it on their site. And if I use something less expensive, I got some material that we use for wedding dresses, and it looked like about a quarter-stop nylon, like they might use at the movie theater studios when they're buying diffusion panels. And they make giant ones for things. But it gave a blue tinge on everything. So you had to deal with that in Photoshop. So if I had one of these with a Savage on one side and one of the other ones on the other side of the product, then I'll let you hold that there. Then I might have blue tinge on one side of the product. So you want to stay consistent with your panels. And I find this gives me the most consistency, gives you the nicest gradients, because I can count on this light to fall nicely on this. So let's go ahead and flip this around and look at the other side there. Slide that out there. This thing can get pretty noisy on the microphone, so we don't want to have it shaking around here. So one of the first things I did here was buy the size that I wanted of these stretcher panels for canvas. So if you're an artist, go to an art studio or an art store and buy them. These are thinner. You can get thicker ones if you're making a larger one. And then I quickly wrapped it with some inexpensive white duct tape. And I wrapped it on, especially on the side where the product's going to be, is over there. I usually put the light on this side. And that light is going to go through there, but we don't want to see any of this color of the wood showing on the other side. So we want to cover those with white, at least on that side and around here. And it wrapped up on this side nicely, the size of the tape. Then I took the plastic and I laid it over it and I cut it out just short inside of this little bead on the other side. and I took some more tape and I put it on there and wrapped it over the edge here and taped it on, and it held very well, and it's very durable. All I gotta do is put this on a C-stand or any kind of place where I can take some clamps and clamp it and hang it up, and I can put my lights behind it. If you're not doing product photography, you could use these just simply to make a big diffusion panel. If you don't have a soft box and you want to put a speed light or a couple of lights behind this, or put this in front of a window and let window light be a little more soft and diffuse where the sun's coming into a house, you could shoot portraits with them. So you could make these really big. They might be a little hard to get in the car, so watch your width on that. So I recommend using this Savage Universal Translum. It's really a nice even color. It's very durable, makes a nice gradient. I have 4 of them here in the studio, and again, when I do products, there's usually one on each side. The product's in the middle. We can get a gradient coming around each side. We also have backlights to backlight the product. We usually have one in the front to get the label highlighted now that we don't have a great big softbox showing in the front of the product there. So it gives us that ability to really show off the label for the client. Client work is very tedious. You can take a lot of time to set up these shots. What I usually do is set up one panel, get the light good on one side, set up the next panel, turn on that light, turn this light off, and you really look at each piece and build the light in. And it can take sometimes many hours just to get down to take that one shot. So this is one way to make your own do-it-yourself diffusion panels, and anybody can do them. Make sure you can get them in your vehicle, the ones you want to travel with. If you have a studio, then it doesn't matter. Just find a good place you can stand them up, hang them up, get them out of the way. So build your own and save a lot of money. This is Larry here at the Photographers Adventure Club Studios, Parkwood Studios, Phoenix, Arizona, and we'll have some more shows about things you can do in the studio to make your own products, to use products well in the studio to make great light.